If you want to get serious about guitar music, you really actually have to learn how to count like a musician. Something that really held me back for the longest time was I just didn't know how to count and measure things out, which just made me so much slower and less understanding of what I was actually doing. So after this video, when you learn how to count like a musician, things will start to make so much more sense, like how chords work, where to play the next notes, why notes work, and finding the right chord to create the right harmony for your music. To start, we can obviously see that you just count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 13, and then that's just how you count normal numbers. How is this musical? Well, the first move we're going to make is there is no 13, it's only 1 through 12, and then you go back to 1. Something important about this is what an octave is, if you've ever heard of that. This one is equal to that one, but the pitch is higher, and do not worry about what pitch is higher, and don't worry about what octave you're in for this to work, because this is just how you count in general. Just know this is where an octave starts and ends. So if we look at our 12 notes, this is how all of them will line up. But how do we figure out the distance? Well, the distance from A to B is 2, because 3 minus 1, and then from D sharp to A, the distance is 6, because 7 minus 1 in general. But we're going to put this into an example of a key of A major to make this super simple. So on this red line, we can see what the distance is between each note we can see the distance of each note compared to this A at the start. If we could do this with literally any other note, and this number line would just shift. If it went to D, 1 would go here, all the way back, and so on. But what are these numbers called? Because you hear things called perfect fifths, major thirds, minor sixths, and that's what these are, just with weird, different names. So, for a quick breakdown, minor second, minor third, major third, perfect fourth, tritone, which is the exact middle, 1 through 11, perfect fifth, minor sixth, minor seventh, major seventh, and then the octave at the next A. Now, in terms of stability, the perfect fourth, perfect fifth, and octave are generally the most stable, but we see these minor and major things, so what do those mean? Those are how you build your major and minor scales respectively. If you just play in representing of A as your 1, to play an A major scale, you would just play everything except for minor 2, minor 3, minor 6, minor 7, and neither will play this tritone. So for one final thing, we're going to add this G sharp because you need to understand how to go backwards. This is just how you count forwards. So this is a minor second above, this is a tritone above, perfect fifth above, so on. And you could just go the other way. This would be a minor second below, the next would be a major second below, and so on. And that is really how you count like a musician, and that's how you're going to figure out scales and how to build chords. And for the final part of this video, I am going to teach you how you build chords. So a major chord is just made out of your 1, a major third, and a perfect fifth. And then when you want to make it a major seventh, you just add the major seventh. And then the same thing works with minors, minor third, perfect fifth, so on. And then when you learn how to build chords like this, everything actually makes sense, and you learn how harmony works. So if you found this video helpful for learning a very basic concept of music in a simple and effective way, leave a comment below and follow for more simple guitar and music content.